Welcome back, everybody, to Ein Sof Learning. This week's Parasha is Vayetze. The word Vayetze literally means, and he left. We're talking now about the life of Jacob. And he left from Beersheba and went toward Haran. Beersheba is the hometown of Yaakov. And he leaves there and he journeys to a place called Haran. Haran is the same place that Avraham Avinu, his grandfather, Jacob's grandfather, was inhabiting earlier in the Parasha of Lech Lecha, where he left from the land of Haran in order to go to the land of Canaan, which is where he did the Akedat Yitzchak, the binding of Isaac. But here, Jacob leaves Beersheba, which is the place that he was brought up, and he journeys to Haran. And along the way, he encounters what the Torah calls Hamakom, the place. We have to understand what this place is, because the name that it's given is Hamakom. That's what God calls it. And he sleeps there in that place. And he dreams of a ladder. And this ladder, we're going to see, has a tremendous amount of significance because the top of this ladder touches heaven while the bottom of the ladder touches the ground. And that's the vision that Jacob has. We have to properly understand what that's really all about. But before we get to the significance of the ladder, let's begin with the very first pasuk where it says, Vayetze Yaakov mi Beersheva vayelech Harana. Jacob departed from Beersheba and went toward Haran. But next it says, he encountered Hamakom, Vayafgia Bamakom, to the place. Vayalen sham kiva hashemesh vayikach me'avnei hamakom, vayasem mera'ashotav vayishkav b'makom hahu. He encountered the place and spent the night there, because the sun had set. He took from the stones of Hamakom, from the place, he took from the stones of the place, which are arranged around his head, and lay down in that place. And this is the moment where he dreams. The dream of Jacob occurs at this moment when he places his head down on those rocks that he arranges as a pillow for himself. Verse number 12. Vaychalom vehine sulam mutzav arza virosho magia hashamayma vehine malachei Elohim olim veyordim bo. And he dreamt, and behold, a ladder was set earthward, and its top reached heavenward. And behold, angels of God were ascending and descending on it. That's the ladder of Jacob, what we call Yaakov's sulam, the sulam of Yaakov. Although the word that's actually used in this parsha to describe it is sulam. Sulam has the concept of climbing, meaning that you are trying to get to another destination. A ladder helps you get from a low height to a high elevation. That's what a ladder represents. That's the kav. The kav is the line of light that Hashem wants us to connect to, which is the same line of light that enters into the halal after the tzimtzum. That's the holy, what we call Adam Kadmon. Adam Kadmon is the kav. But here in this example, we're talking about a ladder. It manifests as a linear fixation. That's why it says that it is mutzav. Mutzav means that it is standing. So therefore it is a vertical ladder that connects heaven to earth. But what I want to focus on is what's going on here. That he says that there are angels going up and down the ladder. Angels coming down from heaven to earth, and then angels going up back to heaven from earth? You're telling me that angels inhabit earth? You're telling me something that there is a portal or a ladder. That's really what it is. That there's a ladder that connects heaven and earth in a literal way? Is that what he's trying to say? We're going to see that this is very much the case. There exists a way, a path, a ladder that connects heaven and earth, and therefore it is possible for spiritual entities in heaven to make their way down into this world, which means to bring themselves into the world of corporeality, physicality. When they corporealize into a form that is a tangible form in this physical world, that's considered going down the ladder. Angels can do that. They can enter into the realm of this physical world. And the other way is true as well, that they can get back to the spiritual worlds through this ladder. So that's the simple level of meaning about this ladder. That is a dream that Jacob has, and it's telling you that angels can come down from heaven and they can dwell and do whatever they need to do on this earth. And when they're done, they can go back through the same ladder back to heaven, which is where they're from. That's the simple meaning of this. But I want to focus on what that means to us. Because we're not angels, are we? We're not malachim. We are neshamot. That means we're souls. What's the difference between an angel and a soul? Sometimes, after a loved one passes away, the loved ones of the deceased will report feeling that there's someone guiding them from above. They can feel the presence of their loved one guiding them. Many people report this feeling shortly after the death of a very close loved one, like a parent or a sibling, God forbid. They report feeling a guiding spirit. So sometimes a spirit of a person can also act as an angel, as a malach, with respect to a certain person. But we're not just spiritual beings. Human beings are not just spiritual. When you look at the essence, what you find is a neshama. A neshama actually transcends the level of spirit, as you would call it. In Hebrew, we call ruach. Ruchaniut. Ruchaniut means spirituality. It means metaphysicality. That's what ruchaniut means. It means the realm of spirit. And that's the second level of the soul. As we know that human beings are made up of 5 levels. Nefesh, ruach, neshama, chaya, and yachida. Ruach is the second. It's the spirit, the personality, the character of a person. But the neshama is one world above ruach. It's in an entirely different plane. It is not even called ruchaniyut. At this level is neshama. We're talking here about a world of godliness. That's the difference between spiritual and godly. Spiritual could be sheker or emet. Right? A spiritual experience, those people who they think they have spiritual experiences when they get high, for example, they take psychedelics and they're having a spiritual experience. Most of the time, that's sheker. That means that whatever they're feeling, whatever they're experiencing, is just more falsehood on top of the falsehood. Right? That's what in people's imaginations they are creating false worlds for themselves. And you don't need to get high on psychedelics in order to create a false world. You could be living in one right now. You could be in one giant bubble that you are fantasizing about something that isn't even true. Most people are walking around this world with a belief system that contains elements of sheker. And so that's the main thing that distinguishes spirituality from godliness, is that spirituality can be good or bad. But when we're talking about godliness, it's good. It's all life. There is no good and bad. Godliness is above that by that that duo, right? That dichotomy between good and bad. That's the light of Hashem. We're talking about a neshama that is tehorah. It's pure. The neshama cannot be tameh. So, this on a deeper level isn't just talking about a ladder between the spiritual world and the physical world. It's not just about angels. It's not only about your own spirit either. It's about the neshama. A human being has the power to connect higher than an angel. An angel can only reach to the realm of spirit. That's the realm that they live in. They live in the world of Yetzirah. That's the world of angels. A neshama, on the other hand, is connected to the world of creation, the world of Bria. It's even above the realm of the angels. That's what a human being can do. You can do that. A human being can reach up through the world of the angels. They can slice their way through the world of Yetzirah and get to the world of Bria, which is where their neshama resides. Their neshama is being expressed in that world. It is in the world of Bria, when a person taps into the world of the neshama, that they're operating from the true self, when they're operating from emet, which is zero sheker. Emet means truth. Can you operate from a place of truth? That's what it means to operate from your soul, to operate from your neshama. That means that you are sincere. Emet means sincerity. You are sincere in everything that you do. When you serve Hashem, you serve Him with sincerity. When you pray with sincerity. When you give help to a person who is struggling, you help them sincerely. You are not a man of falsehood. You are not a man of dishonesty. When you do something, you do it with intention. You do it with sincerity, with integrity, with honesty. That's what it means to operate from the soul. You want to spread light. You don't want to conceal the light. And if you have elements in you that are stopping the light from being shined outward into the world, then you want Hashem to please make you aware of those blockages so you can clean yourself, so you can refine yourself and get in touch with the neshama. So that's what the ladder is really about. It's the soul's pathway, showing how every single night that a person goes to sleep, every single thought that this person has, and every single deed that he does, it either causes elevation of light, which means to go up the ladder, or it causes a descent, to go one step lower on this ladder. That is the bridge between heaven and earth. That means between holiness and confusion. The world of confusion is the earth. The earth is dark. People are confused. That's what this world is. It's a world of bilbul. It's a mix of truth and falsehood. They are mixed together, and therefore you cannot easily see what is the truth. Since everything is mixed, the truth is not yet clear. It is not clear to people what is the truth. Until we do the right job of teaching what is true and what is false. When Jewish people go out and they teach the world what is truth and what is false, that is making it easier for the entire world to become one step closer to Hashem. When you bring clarity to the truth, that means that you're going up this ladder. You are leaving from the world of confusion. You are exiting the world of darkness, and you're ascending to a higher world, which is clear, which is bright with the soul's energy, with the soul's insight of what is good and what is bad, what is holy, what is mundane, what is pure, what is impure. This is a distinction that every person needs to learn to make. And this ladder symbolizes that whole journey of building our way up to the heavens, which is when we're becoming holier, as we're learning more Torah, we're becoming greater in our understanding of the Torah and in our compassion towards others as we're ascending this spiritual ladder. And the bottom is where we go. Sometimes we go back down to the bottom because you cannot always be in a state of perfect connection. There's going to be tough times. You're going to fall. You're going to fall. It's already been decided. A righteous person needs to fall at least 7 times and get back up each time. And that's actually what makes him a tzaddik. So don't be afraid of the fact and of the certainhood that you will fall. There will be times that you will fall. But the question is not how to stop myself from falling, so much as it is, what do I do to get back up? What do I need to do in order to get back up? That's the more important question. Because we all fall, and it could be that we're in a fallen state. Perhaps you feel like you have fallen. Perhaps you have a feeling within you that is, I used to be at a certain place, and now I've fallen to a lower state. I've fallen into a more restricted and enslaved consciousness. I'm less free. I feel like I have fallen. So that's the feeling. That's the feeling. That should wake you up. It should wake you up. That this ladder still exists. Just because you have stepped down a rung does not mean you cannot then again build your way back up. All you need is strength. You need the power to climb. You need the power to climb the ladder. And who gives you that strength? Who is it that gives you the strength to climb the ladder, even when times are tough, even whenever you're located towards the bottom of this ladder where it's dark and confusing? God. HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's why we say Be'ezrat Hashem. We say with the help of Hashem. But the word Ezrat in Hebrew contains the word Oz, which means strength. That means might, power. So it is only with the Ezrat Hashem, with the power of Hashem, with the energy, with the strength, the might of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it is only with His help that I am able to climb this ladder. Because if nature had its way, I wouldn't be able to climb back up. If nature had its way, I would have never been able to come back up. I would have never been able to do teshuvah. I would have never been able to return to the true path. Because that's nature. When you mess up, life gets you. Din, harshness, strict justice. If it was up to justice, if it was up to nature, if it was up to Elohim, I would have never been able to climb back up. It is with the power, the help of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He who we do not name, we do not even utter his name, the Yud Ke Vav Ke. It is because of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, who we call Adonai, but it is not really Aleph Daled Nun Yud. His name is Yud, Hey, Vav, and Hey. It is with his help that we are able to make it back. To make it back to not just the spiritual world of the angels, but the world of godliness, Elohut, the world of the soul, which is Tahor. So that was the main teaching that I took away from this ladder. And perhaps another smaller teaching that you can take away is regarding the turning point that Jacob is leaving Beersheba in order to get to where he wants to go, which is Haran. And we know that Beersheba represents Jacob's home. It represents peace and security. That's what home is. Home is a place that you feel at peace and you feel secure. Otherwise, a house is not a home. A house without peace and security can't be called a home. It has to be called just a house. A home comes with peace and security. So it says that Haran, the word Haran, has the connotation of harshness, the connotation of anger, the connotation of wrath. That's what Haran represents. The letters Chet, Resh, Nun, they represent wrath or anger. Haran. So why is he going away from his home, where he feels secure, where he feels comfortable, to a place called Haran, which is seemingly a place where there's going to be tests and trials and hardship? Why is he going to Haran? And we always talk about on this channel how there's a journey that we are each on. Everyone's on a different journey. But the soul is leaving its safe distance. Where's the journey going? Where are we headed? Somewhere away from home. We came from home. But where are we headed? Somewhere away from home. And we're going to a place called Haran. Haran, emotionally, it represents a place of contraction, a place that you are feeling spiritually down, depressed. You're feeling in despair, or you're feeling a moment of hopelessness. That's called Haran. That's where you're being tested in the chaos of this war zone, this physical world. That's Haran. This physical world is Haran. And Yaakov's home, Bet Sheba, the place of security and peace, that was the spiritual realms that our soul is coming from. So our soul is coming from a place of peace and security, and is thrown down in this physical world, a world of wrath and anger. And every person must go out of their comfort zone, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, in order to uncover hidden strength. That through this hardship, through this avoda of toiling, through mitzvot, gamilut chasadim, and Talmud Torah, you're able to uncover hidden strength. That means receive help from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, in order to do what? To fix this world, make it a little bit more comfortable for the soul. Make this physical world a holy place. Don't abandon this physical world to go up the ladder, thinking that up means to detach from the physical. Up does not mean to detach from the below. Up means that you have incorporated the physical in your understanding, and you've only elevated and expanded your understanding. You didn't abandon or neglect the physical. Rather, you added to yourself. You are now not only a physical being. You're no longer only a physical being. You're now a being that has understanding of the spiritual worlds, and you can operate in that way. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next class.